Okay. Very good evening to one and all present here. I'm glad to have Mr. Subhendu Panigrahi with me, who is the co-founder and CEO of Skillenza. I'm hoping all of you must have explored the amazing platform of Skillenza. You can also check the link in the video description. So now I'll hand over to Subhendu sir, and all the viewers are requested to ask their queries through the chat box. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madhav. Hi, guys. It's amazing that we can talk to each other at so late in night, right? This reminds me of my campus days back in IIT Kharagpur, when we used to have our meetings late night, right, with the fellow students and juniors and seniors for our student groups. I was part of ECEL, and that was fun, right? So back, just feeling like back to school days, but virtually. Thank you guys for inviting me, and I'm glad to be here talking to you guys. So what I wanted to, I saw what my fellow speakers have spoken, what they've covered, right? And you guys had an amazing line of speakers. I know few of them personally, and I think what they've spoken is of great use. It's of great value to you guys. I thought I will touch a very complementary point, which is relevant whether you are a student, professional, whether you are techie, non-techie, business, lawyer, doctor, does not matter, right? And this is something that has helped me to gain a lot of things professionally, whether it's about starting this company or getting investors or customers, right? And I find that tool, right, which I'm going to talk about, is very important, right, for all kinds and sizes of professional, right? Just share my screen. I have a brief presentation for you guys. I'll try not to bore you guys with long, lengthy presentations. I try to keep it short. I hope you are able to see my screen. So basically, let me put it in full screen. Yeah, great. Cool. So,
Yes, sir, it is there.
Madhav, are you able to see?
Yes, sir, it is there.
Is there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So basically, what happens is when we want to achieve something in life, right? We obviously try to do it alone, but there are a lot of people who help us, right? Obviously, when we are kids, our parents, our siblings, our teachers help us out. But as soon as we get into college life, professional life, we need a second degree of, you can say, people who help us out, and that's what we call a professional network. As they say, it takes a village to raise a child, right? It's an African proverb, and that's true. So whether you are looking to become a founder, or you're looking to start a company or become a great professional, you need help from a lot of people, right? And your professional network will really help you to achieve those things. And that's where I have tried to do some innovative stuff. And I don't know how I did it, but somehow I got connected to a lot of people during like my initial days of my startup or before that, and that's how I started getting called as Chalta Fitta LinkedIn, or two-legged LinkedIn of India, and uh, and it's interesting. I mean, I love that people think about me in that manner, but I try to see if I can not only help my company through the professional network, but also try to help others, right? And that's what I have been doing, building my professional network, and that's how I got the name. Uh, so now, what happens is there is a important skill in life that we all need, right? And what I love, right? It's what I call is hustle, right? So hustle is something which in Hindi we call as jugaad, if you guys understand Hindi, or getting shit done, right? So hustle is confidence, right? Courage, which helps you to get something, right, until uh, you finally get it. You find a way, right? You find a method, find the jugaad, right, to get that in life. And that's what I love doing hustle. I hustle a lot, and I when I talk to youngsters like you, I tell them that in order to get something in life, you cannot wait for it, right? As they say, if you are waiting for it, then somebody else will take it over, right? So you have to hustle for it. So you have to hustle for that opportunity. You have to hustle for that job, for that internship. There are methods to do it, but yes, you have to hustle. So now, how did I become the Chalta Firta LinkedIn, right? What happened? So that is my personal story. I just started networking, and there are a lot of things that you'll hear about networking, that you go and meet people in events and exchange cards, and that's how networking happens. No, it does not happen like that. If you do that, then I guess you'll just meet people and remember the names. But the real value of network, you will not be able to derive, right? I'll tell you how I've been doing it. Right, and if you might have heard these things, that your network is your net worth, right? People tell you that if you know people, it is really helpful. And there is also a saying that you are average of 5 people that you hang out with, right? So if you choose your network wisely, right? If you choose the kind of people you hang out with, you kind of people you talk to and seek help, that will define your personality, that will define your attitude, right? And some big people have always said that if you're looking to build a startup or become a founder, connections are very important, right? It helps you to raise money, it helps you to get the customer, it also helps you to hire good people. So networking is everything, right? So like I said, network is your net worth, right? So now, like I said, this all of these people have spoken about that networking is very important, right? And that's how you get access to more opportunities. You understand, you know about opportunities that does not exist in the open market. So now, how does my network look like? I mean, if people call me Chalta Fita LinkedIn, does that is that really in numbers, or is just something random, that tag that people have given me? So I am connected to a good deal of people in the ecosystem, investors, founders, and that's how I started the company. I'll come to that journey. So my overall, you can see these numbers. I'm very active on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is 20,000, 28,000 plus connections. Facebook, I've crossed the limit. I cannot add more people. So it's there. Twitter is 3,000, Quora is 3,000. And I have 100 plus investors on my cap table. So in my company, we have 100 plus investors. So through that, I'm connected to good amount of investors, and that has helped me to run the company very well. So, and that is where I also try to help out a lot of founders through my network, right? And that is why I will talk about why networking is important and how to do it, right? So let's focus on the how part of it, right? Like, how do we network? So first step is that you have to obviously create a network. You have to meet people. You have to, like for example, obviously before COVID, there were a lot of events that used to happen in, let's say, Bangalore or Delhi, Gurgaon. Those are great events to go and meet founders, meet different professionals. As students, for you guys, hackathons are a great place. We organize a lot of hackathons. So hackathons become a great place to go and network with fellow developers, good engineers, good data scientists. I guess your college student, like this organization, ACM, what you guys are doing, that is something that is also quite important, right? Obviously, because of COVID, we are doing virtual things, but there are now virtual events, virtual networking events that are happening. Try to find them, try to attend them, right? And then obviously, social media is quite important nowadays in this virtual world. The way you represent yourself in social media is very important. Just don't have a social media profile for the sake of it, but make it more interesting, right? So you can what you need to do is put a interesting DP, right? You can't put a DP that you put on Tinder or Instagram on LinkedIn. So we're talking about professional networking. We're not talking about making friends, right? Social friends, social groups. That's what your Snapchats of the world or Instagrams of the world is meant for. But we're talking about professional networking. We're talking about the nodes, that the connections that will help you become a great professional, right? Achieve more professionally. So there, your social media profiles are of utmost importance. So your DP or display picture, or profile picture should be of high quality, professional looking, right? It cannot be a selfie. Then the description that you write on your social media profiles have to be very apt. You cannot write very blanket words like innovator, thinker, out of the box thinker. These are very open ended words. Please don't use it. Use very straightforward words saying that developer, full stack engineer, or designer, UX enthusiast, or aspiring data scientist. These are words that tell me that, hey, you are an aspiring data scientist, which means you like data science and you are learning it, right? You say that I'm a amazing salesperson, right? And then you can say closed. Let's say you can put a number also, closed 1 million worth of deals, right? So these small taglines really help for the other person to understand your profile, and also referral helps, right? So if you know one good person, that person will connect you to several other persons, right? In case of that's what we miss in online world. In pre-COVID times, when you go to a physical event, you have other people connecting you to very interesting persons, right? And that referral really helps to create a network. Now let's say you have followed some of these things and you have created a network. Now within a month you are connected to 500 people. What do you do, right? So without nurturing that connection, without feeding those nodes, you will not achieve what is needed, right, in your professional life. So you cannot just have, hey, I just got went to an event, I got connected to 200 people, I exchanged cards, and that's it, done. So you have to do a constant communication, and mind it. Don't be nosy. Don't be very pushy, right? So how do you do it, right? And that you do through good content, right? Like I said, you create your profile on social media, you get connected to people physically or online, and you be in touch with them through good content. So basically, if you're an aspiring data scientist, you talk about data science, you write some blogs, you write some posts, you share some interesting articles, right? As a person, I'm always hungry for good content. So I follow people who are posting good content about, let's say, startups or hiring, or learning, right? These are sectors where we work, and I always follow those people, right? So share good content, at least in couple of professional networks where you want to be active, right? And have those tidbits so that when you meet somebody, you are able to share something interesting to them, right? So that constant communication without being nosy is very important, right? Feed the network, keep it alive, just like a plant, right? You have to nurture the plant. Now, this is something that a lot of people miss. They always think that, hey, what's in it for me, right? Don't think about that. Networking is something that will reap you benefits in a long term, in a long run. For that, what you need to do is you have to believe in karma, right? What in Hinduism we have this karma, right? If you do good, you will uh, uh, reap good, right? If you sow good, you will reap good. So that is something that is very important, and always try to help out people, right? So like I said, as a student, if you are students who are watching the telecast today, even if you're students, you have a lot of things to give back, right? Which means when somebody is talking to you, might say, hey, I know some data science, I will help you out in some project, but don't give me any stipend, I'll just help you out, or I'll write a blog for you, right? Help somebody in probably preparing for interviews, right? Help them in maybe say, hey, I will share good content with you. I will curate a good list of content with you, right? Always been giving mode. And as you start doing this, you will understand that everybody, whether it's the CEO of a company or it's an intern, they all need help, right? So you have to find what is the quantum of help that you can give to that person, so that that person is always in right, indebted to you, right? So that that person is always thinking, hey, this guy helped me out, let me do something for that person. And that is your trump card, right? You have to use those trump cards at the right point in time, right? So that's what is important. So see, if you know somebody who's, let's say, working somewhere, see what is the exact help that you want, and the timing of the help is very important, right? When and what you're going to ask, right? Don't ask something which looks ridiculous, right? Which sounds ridiculous. And also when to ask, right? For example, you are a final year student and you want somebody to refer you. You don't know that person. So you know that, okay, placements might become difficult in the next year because COVID has happened. So why not be proactive and get connected to good engineers at good companies, and start exchanging some ideas with them. And when the timing comes, I will ask for a help, right? Don't be nosy and ask for help in the first meeting, first pitch, right? That does not look good. So timing of your ask, your favor, and when to ask is very important in your professional world, right? Now, measurement, which is what a lot of people don't do. They think, if you ask me, hey, you are connected to 28,000 people, do you really know all of them? How do you know that who's the right person to go and ask for help, right? So measuring is basically to understand your network, right? How deep is the connection? There are people who are my investors who have given me money, so the connection there is very deep, which means I can always call them at night and ask for help, right? That is a deep connection. So you have to understand the concentric circles of your influence, right? Saying that, hey, there are people who are connected to me, they are first degree, they're very strong bonds. That could be your colleagues in the company, that could be your college friends, could be some seniors from college who really like you from your hostels, or your from your student groups. And that's the first degree of connections, very deep, right? There you can be very proactive and ask direct help, right? There is a second degree of connection where they might help you, but they you need to nurture that relationship little better, right? So that's where the understanding of your network is quite important, how deep they are, right? So now, when you go to a physical event, there are some etiquettes. Obviously, these are true for a physical event, and I want to talk about it because, anyways, things are improving. Most probably in few months we'll be back in action, like old days, if not old days. At least we are hoping that there'll be some, you can say, normalcy coming back, right? So let's keep that in mind. Even if you're not going to events, or you're meeting few people in person, handshakes are very important, right? It has to be very firm, right? It cannot be a lousy handshake, right? It's very important. When you shake hands, it has to be very strong, and it should, you can say, show that you are confident, right? So that is, but there is a thin line there, right? It cannot be so intimidating that the person starts kind of saying, hey, yaar, इसने तो हाथ में दर्द दे दिया. Don't do that, right? So have great handshakes with confidence. Whether you are whether you are shaking hands with a junior person or a senior person, does not matter, right? Have a great handshake. It gives a lot of good, you can say, points about your personality. Then in a physical world, business cards are important. A lot of people say, hey, this is a digital world, why do you need business cards? No, have business cards, because the business cards, the visual memory of people is different than just when they hear about your name, right? So hand out business cards, and nowadays be innovative in making those business cards, you can say, as a pitch of a company, right? I created a business card once which had almost my business plan written in the business card on the back side. So when you're talking about a company, you just don't need to give your email ID. Maybe you can give some interesting fact, or very interesting way of, or put a meme, right? Very interesting meme, so people remember you. So use business cards not to just exchange numbers, but also to pass on a message or something, and I've seen in a business card in an event where it was a bookmark, right? So now you'll not throw that business card, you'll actually use it as a bookmark, and that person's name or company stays in your mind, right? So make innovative business cards when the world opens and the physical networking starts. But don't cluster in events. When you go to physical events, don't go and talk to people you know, right? So let's say you go to a hackathon and you know few developers. Don't try to hang out with them and spend all the 24 hours with them, right? Try to meet other people, new people, because the idea of going to a physical event is to meet new people and create those new relationships. Right? Every time you have to refresh new relationship. Right? It works like any funnel, right? You meet 100 people, you have a very good relationship with 10 people, maybe 20 are secondary connections, rest are okay. But people come into your inner circles as you start nurturing those relationships, right? So don't cluster in events, at least meet new people. What I do personally is, I actually, whenever I go to an event, I try to eat lunch or anything very quickly so that I don't waste time. I go and then start meeting people. So while people are actually standing and eating their food and not moving around, I am the one who's moving around and meeting at least 50 new guys every event, right? And that's how I have built my network. And you can use some of these points from the playbook to build your own personal network, right? Always do cross introductions. It really helps. I do at least 1 or 2 introductions every day. Today I did a couple of introductions. So every day I try to introduce people, right? And like I said, that is what you can give back, right? That's the karma, right? I introduce people if they're looking for investment. I introduce people if they're looking for jobs. So that is what I do, and like I said, you can also do it, right? So always do cross introductions, whether it's online or in a physical world. It helps you to build a lot of strong relationships. Some etiquettes for social media networking, very relevant in the market today. I've spoken about it. Profile picture, clear display pictures, a good bio, right? A good bio is very important. Always send a clear agenda, right? Why are you sending the connection request? You can say, hey, I am a final year student. I am interested in these kind of jobs, and I think you can connect me to somebody in your company, or I think your company is hiring. I've seen a post. So don't just send a request, send a quick agenda, not a very long agenda like an essay, very short, right? So if you guys are using Twitter, so you are used to write short messages, right? So be very brief and very concise and clear. Send a clear agenda while sending a request. I got a request today where it's written that I need some help, but the person is not disclosing what help that person needs, right? Then it looks very shady. Don't do that. Be direct, but not very direct, right? Ask about the person, how they are, what they're doing, and then have a very concise point of what you want from that person, right? Do that. People appreciate direct messages, but not too direct, right? So direct, but with little personalization, right? Let's say now probably I have probably added 7,000 people in the last 9-10 months during the COVID time, and I have created a list of people that I want to meet once we get out of this pandemic, right? So you will see that if you're meeting somebody through these events, digitally, virtual webinars, do try to meet them once the world opens. That will help you to build strong relationship, and also going forward, it's a great thing to do, right? Build a personal brand. This is something is what I will tell you to focus, right? Don't think about that only founders or investors can build personal brand. Developers, designers, great sales, marketing, everybody can build a personal brand. Personal brand is about your you can say handle and grasp on what you know, right? And what you share on these platforms, what you talk about, how you portray yourself, right? So do that. Build a great personal brand. Participate in, if you're a developer, participate in hackathons, coding competitions. If you're a designer, build a portfolio on Dribble, right? If you're looking for, let's say, if you want to become a founder, then go and go to business plan competitions, try to participate and see if you can win some, right? So have some credentials which helps you to build a personal brand. The brownie points. Share good content. I've stressed it a few times that sharing good content is very important. Write good content. Start writing. So if you don't write well, if you cannot articulate yourself well, then you will not have great personal brand on the web, right? So try to do that, right? If you're a developer, talk about new technologies, write a technology blog, right? If you are learning something, you can have very simple, right? I'll give a small hack. If you are learning something, you can still build a personal brand, right? Just like your learning outcomes on a weekly basis. Let's say you just picked up JavaScript uh, and that's what you're doing. So just write a journey of how you're learning JavaScript, right? And as you are writing, you will see that you're learning faster and you are creating a personal brand. So your peer who wants to learn JavaScript or still learning with you, they will come and club together, right? So the building a personal brand is of utmost importance, and that should be reflected in your resume, right? That is how you correlate your digital world to your resume. So do that, please. And you can find a lot of great blogs also about personal brand. So think about it, and that will help you to whatever professional goals you want to achieve, right? So this has been my journey. Very quickly, what I have done in the past, let's say 10 years after graduating. So I went to IIT Kharagpur in 2005, 10. I was a dual degree student. While in college, I was one of the founding members of ECEL IIT Kharagpur. We started in 2006 in my second year, and with few of our seniors who mentored us. And in the next 4 years, we created a good platform. I guess you guys know about ESL IIT Kharagpur. If not, then I'll tell my juniors that they're not doing a good job. But I believe you guys know about it. It's a good brand now after 15 years. And that's when I started doing these events, something similar that you guys are doing. And we would invite founders, VCs to come to the campus and engage with the student entrepreneurs. And while doing that, I realized that I have to either start a company or at least join a startup, right? So I thought I will never be able to work in a large setup. That was not, you can say, my cup of tea. And that's what happened. I got an opportunity to work in a startup based out of US. So after graduating in 2010, I went to US. I was in California for some time. And while there, I thought, how do I extend my work that I was doing in ESL and make the same effort, right? Help out people. So me and few of my IIT friends, we started something called Innovation Angels. It was an informal angel network. So we had some 2025 HNIs, entrepreneurs, investors who became part of the group. And what we used to do is because ESL had become more active, we would have some student entrepreneurs and alumni KGP entrepreneurs who would start companies, and we'll just invite them to come and pitch, right? So that helped me. You can say this is my way of giving back. ESL was my first step. Innovation Angels was my second step of giving back to the ecosystem. And there I started connecting a lot of young founders to investors. And some of those founders got money. They raised investment, and that was good karma for me, right? And in 2011, I started a Facebook group called Bangalore Startups. It's still India's largest group. It has almost 90,000 members. It's very active. You go there and ask a question, a lot of founders will help you out, right? So in those 2 years while I was working for the US startup, I was doing these kind of activities so that you can say it was a extension of my work from ESL, and I was still building my network. Now, not with a restricted number of founders or VCs, it was a large network, right? And in 2012, I started something called Reverse Pitch, where it was done for the first time in India, and subsequently it was done for almost 10, 15 times in the last 7, 8 years. This is where investors pitch to entrepreneurs. You would have heard about founders pitching to investors, but this was reverse pitch, right? So this was also a successful initiative that I ran. And with these three initiatives that I ran after graduating, I started building my network. I got connected to VCs, entrepreneurs, customers, and then I realized that hiring is a big pain, right? A lot of people started asking me that, hey, you are connected to so many people, can you help us to hire good engineers? And that's when I realized that, hey, because of my network, I will be able to build a company. So in late 2014, we started Skillenza. We launched it, where it's a platform for companies to hire good engineers and data scientists through hackathons. So that my thesis of how building the network not only helped me to become a good professional, but also helped me to start my company and raise money from those 100 investors, right? So what I have seen in the last 10 years of the journey is that always believe in karma. So when you do good things for people, will come back, right? I understand. I know it's a very cliched statement, but good karma will always come back and pay you, right? So believe in that. Keep these few pointers in mind. You can always create your own playbook. I'm not saying this is the thing that is only possible. There are other ways to do it, but I've seen it working in my case, and I would love to see some of you guys using it and achieving things professionally. This will be all from my side. Like I said, I'm a open networker. I'm happy to help any students. Right, ping me for job opportunities, internships, anything that you think I would be able to help. We can chat on LinkedIn or Twitter, right? That'll be all from my side, Madhav. I'll be happy to take questions if the viewers have any.
Yes, I'll just post a comment. If they're having any questions, they can comment in the chat box.
Sure. I'll just stop my screen share. Thank you guys. Glad you guys liked it. Like I said, please use this in your professional uh, life. And trust me, okay, I got that startup opportunity just because I had a good digital profile. Whatever projects I had done, whatever papers I had written during my college days, those were properly listed there. And the companies, one of the founders found us on a very similar website it's called Unoodle. It's a Stanford startup, and that's how I got that opportunity, right? And it was an amazing opportunity to work with founders in US. It was a US startup, so I've seen it working very well. So don't think that, hey, how will I get a job through LinkedIn? How will I get a job through Twitter? Right? That's the hustle that you have to do. That is what I'll give you guys. That keep hustling. That'll help you a lot. Let me know if you have a question. I'll be happy to answer.
Sir, I think it was quite clear to all of them,
Okay,
and all
great.
are having great takeaways from your discussion.
Yeah,
So,
cool.
at last, I would like to thank all the attendees and especially you, sir. Sir, one second, one is having a question.
Yeah.
I'll
Uh,
show it up.
the investor. Okay. So Aditya, if you are, let's say you are looking, or you have started a company, right? So if you're looking to get connected to investors, so there are three ways to do it. Okay, first is that you start following them on Twitter or LinkedIn, right? Send a request. You can send a cold email, cold saying that, hey, I've seen, but always write an interesting email, right? So I'll tell you, I'll give a great story which was there. I guess you guys must have tried for, I don't know, Madhav is going to Europe or US as an intern. Is it still a craze in colleges today,
Uh,
or is
yes, sir, definitely it will be
that
a
okay?
very good
That
experience.
okay. So now back in our days, 2006 7, it was a big craze. I think now India has a lot of good opportunities. Even if you don't go outside, I mean, don't feel bad. India has amazing startups today, right? And they pay very good stipends also as interns. But yeah, I mean, going to a foreign university doing a 3 month internship is fun. I mean, I was also part of. I was, like I said, I was a student 15 years back, and that was there. I mean. And I went to Denmark for one of my internships. So what we used to do there is we would go and read the profile of the professor, right? That's a hack. I mean, if you guys are not using it, that's what we used to do. We'll go and read the professor's profile on the university website. We'll see what papers he has written. We'll probably go and read one or the other paper and say, by the way, I've read your paper on this, let's say, some neural network for some structural mechanics or something, right? And then say that, and I think I will be a great fit for your project. I've done this in my BTech project or in my third year or second year engineering work, right? So that is what we used to do, and it was a time-taking process, right? I mean, you have to go and right? If you write at least 400, 500 emails, then you get probably 10 replies. Right? That's the top of the funnel. So one guy, my junior, was very smart. What he did was he wrote a program. The program will go to the university website, go to the department website, pick up the email ID of the professor, name of the professor, and also the title of the paper, one of the papers, right? Recent paper. And just auto compose an email and send it to 400 guys. Right? He did it in like a weekend, and then he got an internship, I think, in Canada. Right? So that customization is important. If you find a hack today, that's fine. But when you're talking to an investor, you have to understand what the investor has done. You can't just write to an investor saying, "Hey, by the way, thank you for connection, and I'm looking for some funding. Can you get me some money?" You cannot be that direct with investors, right? So there, what you do is you actually see what that investor has done. As that investor invested in company X, you can say, "Hey, I've seen that you have invested in, let's say, food tech companies or education companies, and we are also working in the similar domain, and your understanding of the space is quite good. I have seen your posts on Twitter or LinkedIn, and I think they are very insightful. And we believe that if you come on board as a partner or as an investor, it'll be a great addition to our startups journey, right? So content is very important, right, in today's market. So if you write a good email, cold email, people do reply. Okay, that's the first thing. Second is you can go via one of the founders, right? So let's say, like I said, I have 100 plus investors on my cap table, and some of the introductions I do on a regular basis is help other founders get connected to my investor, right? Obviously, there I'm not at the liberty to connect everybody. I mean, I have to also pick and choose. You will understand that. But if I find some interesting startups myself, the first question my investors ask me is, will you invest in this startup if you had money? So if my answer is yes, then only I connect, right? So that is another way. So if you know a founder from your college, like a college senior, some of the Kharagpur guys do talk to me, and I have helped them out. They have helped me out, my seniors, to get connected to their investors. So one is amazing cold email still works. Okay. Second is getting connected through a fellow founder like me or any other of your college seniors or your personal network. Third is events, right? Like I said, events is something where I have also met good founder investors. Investors are very open today in meeting founders. So if you go to an event and you, like I said, you behave very professionally and very well mannered, people do appreciate talking to a very good professional, right? There you have a chance. And the fourth one, which I said, is the building a good personal brand. So if you're a founder and you have a great personal brand, which means when you're starting a company, you're also sharing a journey, right? Nowadays, a lot of founders share their journey every day, saying that, hey, today I acquired 2 customers. We've just built prototype of a startup, right, or this product. So those personal journeys will also help a good set of investors because they're very proactive now to discover you and get connected to you, right? So these are, you can say, 3 to 4 methods by which you can get connected to investors. Any more questions, guys? Sir, how can we expand our e-cell? Any guide would be helpful. Cool. So, Sinesh, can I know the name of your college, if you don't mind? So, Madhav, people have written there from teams, right? Was there a hackathon also that was?
Yes, sir. Hackathon is there. So it is a IKGPTU Mohali, his college name.
Okay. Okay. Mohali. Great. That's a nice place. So basically, I think a great e-cell has to start with a great team. Like any startup, right? Any company, it cannot be successful with a great team, right? So try to create a good team with few seniors. I don't know which you are in. You are in. So have a mix of all years: fourth year, first year, second year, third year, all 4 or 5 years, right? And if you have a B school in the campus, MBA school, include those people also. So have a great team, and because all these years across years will help. And setting up an e-cell is not a 1 year process, right? You cannot just say that, hey, we have set up the e-cell and it will run on its own next year. It is a 4 or 5 year process. The fourth or fifth year you will become successful, right? So if you are in, let's say, your second year, you have 2 3 years to play a role. If you're in final year, build a great team so that they can, and you be involved while you are a professional, you're graduated, right? So that is the giving back to your campus. So build a good team, right? And have an agenda on a regular basis, right? It's a new college, fine. So you are, I think, probably in second year or third year, right? Second year. So there, what you do is, it's a new college, so I think your college will be also open. While you're forming the team, do involve the faculty, right? Have a faculty advisor, faculty member as a chairperson, have 2 3 students as coordinators, leaders, and then just like any other company, so you have to run e-cell like a startup, right? So any other company, you have your senior members, you have junior members, you have your workers or working force, the first years. So have that structure, have a memorandum written. Actually, we had a memorandum written where discuss the roles and responsibility of each kind of student members, right? Once you do that, then create an agenda, a calendar of activities that will help you to inspire the students. And those activities range from talks, right? Do these inspiring talks, have founders come into the campus when the world opens up, have virtual events, right? But get that momentum going, right? Then have interesting workshops. Those really help, right? One is inspiration. So let people get inspired. So if you have a founder, let them share their story. So people are inspired, right? Solve the why. The why is important. Why should people become founders? Why do we need entrepreneurs, right? So talk about that. Have those stories, right? Then go to how, right? How is your workshops? So now when I was in college, I didn't know how to write a business plan, right? It took me time to understand it because I had good mentors who taught me. So have those mentors who can teach about writing a business plan, creating a good pitch deck. How do you actually pitch to investors, right? How do you build your products? How do you build an MVP? What is good product management? So there are a lot of skills that founders need, right? And as a founder, it's a very tiring and lonely journey. So there you need a lot of help, external help from mentors. So as I mentioned, have those how pieces, right, which is workshops. Then have a grand event, right, an annual grand event, so that people remember it, which is your annual competition. We conducted something called GES, Global Entrepreneurship Summit, every year in January. Right? So that was an annual event. Every month, starting from July, we would have a lecture or a workshop, right? And then while we had good help from the institution, so we had a small fund dedicated for the student entrepreneurs. That really helped us to kickstart the startup journey among the students, right? Because whoever won the business plan got some seed money from the campus. So I don't know whether your college would be ready for that or not, but you should talk to your college and see there are a lot of programs now from government to have incubation centers, innovation centers in your campus. So work on that. And if you run this at least for 2 to 3 years with innovative workshops and talks, you will start seeing results coming out, right? And like I said, it's a long process. Don't think about changing the attitude and the way people think in 6 months or few months, right? It's a long process. So if you're in second year, I think by fourth year end, you will start seeing results, right? So be patient when you are, because in eSale you are promoting entrepreneurship, right, which is a very hard thing to sell. So be patient. If you do that, I think you will see the results in your fourth year or when you have graduated. Actually, any more questions, guys? I hope, Sinesh, that answered your question. Feel free to connect me on LinkedIn if you think you need to talk a little more. I will be happy to help you out, and I can connect you to some of my juniors in IIT Kharagpur currently who are the members. They will also help you to some extent. Guys, any more questions?
Sir, I don't see any more comments coming up. So uh, I would like to thank you for this mind-boggling session, and
Thanks,
thank
Madhav.
you for your time. Thank you for your time to
Yeah,
inspire us.
great. Hope people will use some of the
Uh,
techniques.
yes, sir. They must be having great takeaways from this.
Chalo, great. Hope
Oh,
hope we'll meet you guys soon. Chalo,
yes,
great.
sir. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chalo. Bye,
Thank
Madhav.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Okay. Bye, sir.
Be safe. Be safe.
Yes. Okay, sir.